Sit and stay a while. It's I, Deckard Cain. I am here to talk to you about Dark Souls 2 and how the character creator is really whack as shit. And even though your character looked like he had dark tan skin in the creator, in game he looks like a pale little ghosty who's never seen the sunshine. In all seriousness, yeah, the character creator in this game is tough because it gives you a very fake impression of what your character will actually look like. I'm pretty satisfied with my character's look here, but I'm going to be honest with you, I've made a lot of characters with this character creator. It takes a lot of effort to get good at it. This is not a bad looking character, but yeah, my character, I hate the way the noses are in this game. Like, your nose will be huge no matter what you do. But as you can see, I did start as the warrior. The warrior! Not the ultimate warrior, just the warrior. First thing every player should do when playing this game is go upstairs and get the human effigy. But the character creator is pretty cool, but it is rough. I mean, you could have even given yourself tattoos and crap if you wanted to. You just have to be very careful. Like, I really did have a much darker skinned character than what you saw as the default character in character creation. And I still look like a pretty reasonably lightly skinned guy in game. The reason this is kind of tough is because the character creator has all kinds of dynamic lights all over your character, and it's like a dynamically lit environment where you create your character. And the real game is absolutely not like that at all. There are very few dynamic lights in this game, and that's a big detraction. A lot of people don't like that. I won't go into it, but there are certain places later in the game that look fantastic. They look better than anything you ever saw in Dark Souls 1. Unfortunately, a lot of those places are, as I said, late in the game. In this early game, particularly here in Things Betwixt, things just don't look that good. So I'm going to handle some quick things, and I did take off my helmet. I just hate the way that helmet looks, and I wanted to show off my character a little. I'm going to handle some things real quick here that a lot of people don't understand. Torches. Let's talk about torches. Looking at your equipment screen, you can see that there is a torch with 5 minutes written beside it. What does that mean? Basically, that means you have 5 minutes of torch time. Every time you loot a torch in this game, your torch time goes up by 5 minutes. Where do I get torches, Karkaroff? What a great question. You get torches from loot that you find off things like that body I looted behind that cart I broke. Some enemies will drop torches. And that's about it. You cannot buy torches anywhere in this game, so there's no way to grind your way to torch time unless you count farming mobs that drop torches. Torches are not massively important as people seem to have thought they would be, and that annoys some people, but they're still pretty useful. There's actually a few fights in the game where having a torch actually makes the fight noticeably easier. There's a few levels in the game where I would not even suggest trying to clear that level without a torch in your hand, at least until certain environmental conditions have been met. There's other places in the game where having a torch is actually bad. And while it may help you in one aspect of the level, it hurts you in others. There's even a particular set of NPCs later in the game that could potentially become aggressive and attack you who would otherwise be nice chaps if you walk up on them with a torch. And how do you light your torch? Well, that's simple. In any bonfire, you press Y to toggle or triangle on your PS4 controller or PS3 controller, and you go, bam, hey, light the torch. I got a torch. The torch is the only source of dynamic light in the entire game. No, not really. There are some dynamic lights later on, but you can already see immediately your character does look a lot cooler with the torch active. The world looks cooler. Everything looks cooler. One thing you can do with torches is you can set lights. Let there be light. Now, lights you set with the torch are handy because once you've set a light with the torch, then booyah, you can just roll up on that light and light your torch again. You don't have to worry about going back to a bonfire at that point. Lighting torches is weird because some torches you light aren't dynamic lights and other torches you light are dynamic lights, and it's just kind of strange. But there's various places in the game where I really would recommend playing with a torch, even though you can't use a shield or two-hand while using a torch, which can really be a bit of a pain sometimes. The reason I suggest it is because there's a few areas where marking your progress and seeing what you're doing is really helpful, and the best way to do that is to have a torch and light those little pillars and sconces and things of that nature. So you can see my skin's a little darker here. The coloring is on your face is still always a little off versus the coloring of the rest of your body, but this guy actually came out really nicely. I'm actually pretty happy with the way he looks. There's another hippo. Pro tip, there are actually 2 hippos down there. You just can't see one of them. The other one is behind those rocks. He's trying to be a little stealthy bastard. Now, while I could do this the intelligent way and stab him in the back with my broken sword, this is basically the, hey, you can backstab in this game tutorial. I would much rather do this. And anally probe him to death. I'm sure you can appreciate the humor of that. I went all Naruto on his ass. Or more recently, you could say South Park Stick of Truth. Here's a dagger. Believe it or not, the dagger's not a bad weapon. If I were playing a deprived, I would be like, fuck yeah, dagger at this point. Oh, what the hell was that? I rolled. Let's two-hand this bad boy. This part of the game is literally a tutorial. It's not very hard. I'm not going to read these tutorial thingies. Those little white placards are basically your tutorials. You read those and they give you tips and stuff. This would be the first Souls game where the tutorial area does not have a boss at the end of it. Oh, good God. The game's like, we've given you a weapon and explained basic things like dodge stupid. So we feel like we can put you against enemies that take more than 2 hits to kill now. Life gem. Oh, by the way, I forgot to explain what human effigies are for. Human effigies serve 2 functions. And there's a reason they were introduced at the beginning of the game like that. Function number 1. Human effigies. Shut up, twinkly, sparkly sons of bitches. They serve 2 functions. First off, if you die and you go hollow, you can use them to get back your human form. I suggest you do this sparingly, okay? You really don't need to be in your human form as much as you might think. You can still be invaded and still be summoned and all that other crap. And if you're playing online, there are other ways to get your human form back. For example, you could put down your soul sign and help a fellow player kill a boss. This gives you your human form back without using a human effigy. Human effigies can also be used to prevent invasions. To be honest, I'm really low leveled. Give a smell. Shut up. So that can be useful too. Personally, I have not seen any invasions at all yet in this game, and I've got up to like soul level 30 or 40. I don't know what's going on. I never played online on PS3 because I always like my first playthrough to be balls hard and completely offline with no help and no foreknowledge to just make it a nightmare for myself. So I don't really have much experience in PvP in this game. I can already tell you the mechanics of this game are superior to Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls in a lot of ways. So I can see that PvP could be better. But I also could see that in many ways PvP could be worse. There are a lot of really gimpy, weird spells. I don't want to go into it right now. You can look all that stuff up online. In another video, I'll look into it. But a friend of mine who really long-term, old-school fans of Kark videos may know by the name of Jost. He was in one of my first Dark Souls tournaments. Actually, recently let me know that another streamer was actually filming some Dark Souls 2 tournaments just a bit ago. So I may talk a bit about that in the next videos. It's not all fresh in my mind, though, right now, so I'm not going to discuss it. So first things first, we're going to talk about the crows in this game because they're right here at the very beginning. What do these crows want? They don't want specific items anymore like in the previous games. They only want things that are silky and smooth. Guess what's silky and smooth? That small, smooth, and silky stone I found earlier. Don't pick discard. Discard actually throws away the item. Leave simply drops it on the ground. So we choose leave. Big improvement in this game. You don't have to do the log in, log out trick. You drop your item and they give you your item back. You still have to do one at a time. I got 1 life gem for that. That's really not that bad, believe it or not. Depending on the value of the item and the rarity, the better the thing they will give you. Basically, they only want things that are silky and smooth, so if it's not a smooth and silky stone, they don't want it. One exception. This is my starting gift I chose, the petrified something. There's only like 4 of these in the game. It's rare. Your odds are not good, but you can get some really cool stuff for this thing trading it to these guys, and that's the only use for it. We'll see what we get. That's basically considered their highest quality item, and since all the items they give you are random this time, the higher the quality of the item you drop, the better the chance you get something good. So I could get something really cool here. In this case, I got an old whip, which was really freaking cool. That is the first time I've ever gotten the old whip from that, even though I knew you could get it. We're going to take a look at that old whip right now. Can't use it yet because you need 20 dex, but look at that. 233 damage right out the gate. Holy crapolas. Yeah. I mean, that's really nice. That's really nice. That's one of the best items you can get straight out. Another pro tip, in the previous games you would hold down the B or the O button to slide down those ladders. You no longer do that. In this game you have to press down and hold down that button to slide down those ladders. If you just hold that button, you're just going to drop off it and kill yourself. You can also press up and hold that button and you will climb faster. So let's see if I can score my first newbie death. Oh man, that was lame. I tried to parry him. Didn't do too well. Parrying is also different in this game. You no longer get some crazy whacked out super duper stab animation. What happens is that is a hole, so we gotta jump. Oh man, I almost missed that somehow. What happens is they basically just get stunned, and you get to smack them a bunch of times, basically for free, because they're stunned and they can't fight back. But you don't automatically do bonus damage or anything like that. Backstabbing has changed a little bit too. The backstabbing animations are not as fast as they used to be, and you can get hit during part of it. In my experience, you can't really get hit out of it, which some people claim you can. I don't really think you can, but you can take hits while you're in it. There's no invulnerability frames during it anymore, really. The other catch-22 is if you didn't notice when I anally massacred that previous guy, there's sort of like a pre-animation where you sort of hit them in the back of the head and then do your backstab. Different weapons also have different backstab animations. It is possible for enemies to dodge the initial thump to the back of the head, and if they do dodge the thump, then essentially your backstab doesn't work. It's not very often that happens. It's just very possible that it could happen. Yeah! That didn't kill him. Oh man, where's that dodge coming from? A little slow on the dodge today. Not doing as well as I could. I opened the door. Yee! Cracked a red eye orb. That's used to invade people, go figure. There's actually a covenant you have to join in this game to get the permanent red eye orb item, believe it or not. So if you never join that covenant, you only get cracked red eye orbs, and there's nowhere to buy cracked red eye orbs either. So, yeah, invasion is not going to be, even though anyone can invade at any time, it actually isn't going to be quite as common this time. Because unless you're in that covenant that gives you an invade item, a permanent invade item, you've got a very limited supply and there's nowhere to buy them. So I'm going to rest up the hill real quick. We're going to take quick advantage of the item box, because I'm not going to use any of these things, except for maybe that homunculus mace. I'll hang on to that. All these shields really suck, except for that one. I'll take a look at it in a minute. I'm never going to use that helmet, so let's get rid of it. I actually kind of like the imported set. I don't really mind it too much. That's really nice. That's probably the best thing I've ever gotten from those guys. That old whip is excellent. 233 damage, man. It's got a lot of stat requirements. I need 20 dex, but I mean, I'm actually going to get 20 dex on this character sooner or later anyway for various reasons. So that's really not bad at all. That's a very strong starting weapon. So let's go ahead and put on my hood. I actually think this hood looks nice with this armor set. I really don't like the look of the helmet. Call me silly. Or call me maybe. Lol. We can't go that way yet. This little part here in the tutorial really pissed me off the first time I played the game because I had a hell of a time figuring out what I was supposed to do. So there's a little archer guy on the other side and there's a little pit. What you're supposed to do is you go up to this tree and you go, ugh, and you just use your mighty foot to push it down because you're badass. But yeah, it took me a hell of a long time to figure that out the first time for some reason, even though the little sign kind of implies that's what you do. And it was kind of annoying. But that's the way it goes sometimes. So there's this guy here. So I'm going to find an angle on him to fall stab him. I don't know if it's... No, it's not possible. Climb, 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 climb. So that's a cheeseball little encounter, and that's why I rested first, because I knew this was coming. So this, I mean, this is really the tutorial area. It's all pretty basic. It's not that tough. Come to me, my little kumquat. One thing you'll notice, you'll see a red bar beneath my broken piece of crap straight sword. What that red bar indicates is pretty simple. That's the item's durability. In this game, weapons break a lot easier, but you never have to pay repairs unless the weapon actually breaks. And every time you rest at a bonfire, the weapon fully repairs itself. But that being said, when a weapon breaks, it's totally freaking useless, and you do have to pay a lot of souls to repair them when they break. And weapons, as a result, since they fully repair themselves and there's no repair costs anymore unless you actually break the weapon, as a result, weapons have lower durability. So you actually do really need to pay attention to durability in this game because it's fully possible for you to break a piece of equipment, and that's bad. On the bright side, that kind of works in your favor too, because there's certain rings, for example, like there's a ring that will revive you if you die, and you basically lose nothing. You just instantly revive, and then it breaks when it happens, of course. This ring was in other Dark Souls games too, and Demon Souls. The big advantage in this game, though, is in this game when an item breaks, it's not gone, it's just broken. You just have to repair it, right? So those rings actually break, but you can repair them and then you have them again. So that's actually a pretty cool little thing with those rings. All I'm going to say is a killing that these two hippos, you still can't see the second hippo, but he's right down, he's right over there. He's right behind those rocks, down the legend to the right. If you kill those two hippos, you get something good. That's all I'm going to say. One, you can easily access that casket thing he's standing in front of. I won't talk about what that does. You can find out for yourself. It's kind of funny. But if you do kill those two, much like the first one who gives you a cool ring, those two don't give you anything. But once you kill them, you can go back to the young chick who's back there, and she will give you some rewards for taking them out. So that's something to keep in mind. I will eventually do that at some point. I will not film myself doing it, but it's worth knowing. Now we get to see signs and stuff show up. Maybe. We are playing online. Oh, messages, messages, messages. Good luck. I love this message. Hidden path? No. There's no hidden path here. Try destroy. Oh, really? Try destroy. Why, look, it doesn't do jack. By the way, this is another good message that you shouldn't listen to jerkwads trying to screw you, because your weapon loses durability when you hit it walls and break boxes with it. That's why you should always use that to break boxes. your weapon really does lose durability for hitting walls. Like I'll show you. Try to get that. See, it's very incremental, but you will see the bar go down every single time I hit that wall. So, yeah, these are troll notes. There's no hidden path there. There's probably a troll note here, too. Hurrah for something. Yeah. Illusory wall. Try attacking. Doesn't work, does it? Those are all bullshit notes. They're idiot troll ass wipes, and for some reason, jackleg dip fuck jerks upright them. Pro tip number whatever. Illusory walls in this game are not broken by attacking them. They're broken by pressing the A button or whatever the equivalent is on the PS4, PS3 controller. X button is what it is on the PS3 controller. I had to look. I'll show you a real hidden path. Assuming I have the HP to survive it. I should be okay. So now in Majula, the game's hub city. Cleric Sacred Chime. Now you know why I told you not to bother feeling weakness as the cleric, because you can get his chime almost immediately. Coolest item in the game, binocs. Binocs are now weapons. They're not an item you use from your item inventory. You have to equip them, but they're pretty darn cool. We'll equip them right now just to show you. You also notice the big difference in this game and Demons and Dark Souls is, number one, you can have up to 2 arrow types and 2 bolt types equipped at the same time, up to 4 rings, up to 3 left-hand items, 3 right-hand items, and god crap, man, how many items, quick items you can have equipped. It's huge. Just big differences there. So these are the binocs, and look, it's cool. So, I mean, they're pretty cool. They even have like a sort of a blur effect on them. I'll see if I can focus in. Like, so you can kind of see it there a little better. You can see it really well there. The binocs sort of have a blur effect on things that aren't in focus. They're really cool. I don't like the fact that because they're a weapon, the UI elements won't go away. But that, you know, you get what you get. They're still really nice. They're neat. They're very neat. And you can actually hide the full-on UI. I think you can in this game. Yeah, you can always just turn the UI off somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you can just turn it to always hide, always display, hide automatically. I like hide automatically, so that when I'm not in combat, I don't have to see it, but when I am, I do see it. So, quick NPC introduction to people who matter. This is the Emerald Herald. I'm not going to make you listen to me talk to her, because, God, she doesn't shut up. But this is the Emerald Herald. She is basically the Maiden in Black of this game, with one little caveat I'll discuss in a second. She levels you up. She talks to you about story stuff. She helps you with Estus flasks. In fact, I need to talk to her now because she gives you the Estus flask. Oh, God, I will make you listen to it.
The next monarch? Or merely a pawn of fate? Bearer of the curse.
Woo.
I will remain by your side till this frail hope shatters. Take this with you. May it ease your journey.
Lord, gee.
Go on and see the king. He who made Drangleic what it once was. He who peered at the essence of the soul. King Vendrick.
Okay, so there you go. Yeah, I make fun of the game, but I take the story pretty seriously, believe it or not. What are those weird lines from, Kark? Those weird lines are because I'm using the Durante suggestions to improve the graphics of the game. And it just causes a few weird shadow effects here and there. It actually, you rarely see that stuff, and the game looks a lot better from those fixes. This game does look massively superior to the PS3 version, I'll tell you that right now. Another big complaint this game gets, I'm going to discuss it really fast, is consistency. They say the world is not consistent. There's things you can't see from here that you should be able to see, and all this other bull crap. Well, you know, here you go, detractors. What's that over there? I bet you that's the Forest of the Giants over there. Yeah, that's the Forest of the Giants. Can you see the Heidi Tower of Flame from over here? Why, yes. Yes, you can, you stupid idiot complainers. Yes, you can see the Heidi Tower of Flame. That's it right there. No, that's not a rock. Let's pull out my freaking binocs. Look at that. It's the Heidi Tower of Flame. You just couldn't tell because you were playing on a crappy system with bad resolution. Go fig. What's that over there? That's a great question. That over there in the up close is the Shaded Woods. In the distance, I think that's Drang Lake Castle. I think that's Drang Lake Castle in the extreme distance, that tower you see rising up there. So yes, this game is consistent. There's going to be a few parts where you're going to be like, what the fuck just happened? And yes, I agree, there will be a few parts like that. But to say that this game isn't consistent, or that it doesn't merge, or that it doesn't make sense is bullshit. It makes perfect sense. I just showed you Heidi Tower of Flame. It's right there. You know, so shut up your damn whining, you people saying this game is worse than Dark Souls 1 just because you can't see Anor fucking Londo from the hub city. Get the hell over it. I stab you, you die, statue. Here's a pro tip and things to watch out for. These little grunny pig things over here are nasty. F. God, I hate these things. In fact, I'm not going to fight them. I'm just going to run away like a cowardly little chicken shit. Those things are nasty. I swear to God, they hit pretty rough. Considering, and they're hard as hell to hit because they're so small. Oops. Also, you'll notice you can teleport, period, from the very beginning of the game. Hoochie, 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 hoochie. How many souls do I have? I don't have enough souls to level yet, because if I'd been deprived, I would have had enough souls to level. This is, and you'll notice my durability is now full on my little sword. Another thing I wanted to check out real fast, this shield, which one is better? Yeah, the bound wooden shield is better. This is one you had to pre-order to get, but it's better than the Iron Parma. So this is another reason why you shouldn't really let things like lack of a good starting shield affect your decision making on most classes, because if you pre-ordered, you're getting this anyway. And while this is a sucktastic shield long term, it's a great shield for starting the game. It's a great starter shield. So this is a Leningrass, the blacksmith. He's a bit mopey because he's locked himself out of his blacksmith place. Again, I'm not going to talk to him right now. Because I don't really want to make you listen to that. Instead, I'm going to make you listen to me. Much to your chagrin. Let me show you a few cool loot places. There's a life gem, Soul of a Nameless Hobo. If you're thinking about killing NPCs at this point in the game, I'm just going to tell you one thing. Don't. There is no NPC in this game that there's any... Well, there's like one or two NPCs in this game I can see value in killing. None of them happen to reside in Majula. There's no reason to kill any of these NPCs here. You can kill the Emerald Herald if you like. You can do that. Sure, you have to pay a heinously insane high fee on souls if you ever want to, you know, talk to her again from her gravestone to level up. And all you get for it is an item that really isn't that useful when you'll get over the course of the game anyway. But yeah, you could kill the Emerald Arrow if you wanted to. You could kill this guy if you wanted to as well, but all you're going to get is some crappy armor he'll eventually give you anyway. And again, I don't know what to tell you. You're stupid if you do. Maulin is the main armor smith in the game. Leningrass over there is going to be your primary blacksmith for weapon upgrading. I'll talk about weapon upgrading when I actually can upgrade weapons. But Maulin here is your primary... Oh, just let me out of here. There we go. He's your primary armor smith. He sells armor. Like when you kill a boss, if you kill a boss that has an armor set, he'll be the guy who sells the armor set. As you spend money with him, his inventory increases. And if you get to the point where you spend about 16,000 souls with him, which is pretty crazy, but you know, you probably will over the course of the game, believe it or not, He actually does sell the Alva armor set, which I think is one of the coolest sets because it looks really neat. In fact, it is the armor set that you wear in these emotes. Like that is the Alva armor set. So it's a pretty cool looking armor set. It actually strikes a really nice balance between being light and being defensive. It's just a really great set. He'll sell it to you eventually. And he's just got a lot of cool items he'll sell you and provide for you over the course of the game. For those of you having a tough start with the game, who really do like shields and aren't as big on dodging, which is perfectly understandable. I actually kind of like shields too. He does sell a really good early game shield for only 1,500 souls. It's really a good expenditure. Don't feel bad if you buy it. You really shouldn't. One other thing I want to talk about, well, a couple other things I want to talk about before I get on with it. And I know this is a big info dump and this is kind of draggy, but I'm not going to talk about these things ever again, so look at the bright side there. Up here you have the Covenant of Champions. You can just talk to this tree and you can join the Covenant of Champions. If you like getting your ass raped and having the shit kicked out of you, go ahead and join the Covenant of Champions. If you're anybody else, don't join the Covenant of Champions. What does the Covenant of Champions do? You get some really stupid craptastic items for it. I think eventually you get like a ring that makes your punches hit really hard, or some other ridiculously useless junk like that. But it basically turns off summons. You can no longer summon people to help you. You can still be invaded. You get the Covenant item by killing people who invade you. The game reacts as if it's on New Game Plus, basically. Like there's extra mobs and things. A lot of things change in New Game Plus in this game, which is another big reason why I like this game more than Dark Souls 1. But the big difference, yeah, I forgot to hit the whale. I know. The big difference is that which reminds me. Enemies will hit harder. Not that they already don't hit like a truck for the most part. And they'll have a lot more life. The game is just balls hard if you play on Covenant of Champions, at least in the beginning. And the enemies will even be more aggressive on Covenant of Champions. I really don't recommend you play that way unless you just really want the game to kick the hell out of you. Unless that's what you want, don't play that way. I won't even say play that way as a Souls expert. I don't think anybody should ever play Covenant of Champions. I think the rewards are pointless. It's just a bragging rights thing. There's a guy named Golguan on Giant Bomb who did it. Hats off to you, man. You're the shit. That being said, it's just a bragging rights thing. I would never play that way. I have no interest in doing it. And if you want to do it to prove your Souls cred, feel free, go ahead. But I think it's a big waste of fucking time. I don't care to do it, and I don't recommend you do either. What Covenant do I recommend you join starting out of the game? Well,
you're undead, aren't you? You have that distinct scent, the smell of irreversible fate. This is Majula. It is a kind of settlement. A place where life is almost normal.
So yeah, it's the emo warrior, as I like to call him. This time he's actually useful. He never attacks you. Spoiler alert, he never actually attacks you and tries to kill you.
I lost everything.
Which is nice.
And now I'm here.
He never goes hollow. He just sits there like an emo the whole game.
That it was possible to break the curse here.
He actually is the leader, I guess, of one of the early game covenants.
There's nothing here for you, me, or anybody.
And he'll even give you gifts as the game plays out, believe it or not. He will give you gifts. And his covenant is actually pretty easy to level up in too, because you level up in it as you kill invaders. I think. Maybe. I don't know.
Anything Everything living,
I just work here.
sentient or no, supposedly
I know
has
on
one.
PS3 I somehow leveled up in it a bunch of times, never even realized it. Like I came back and I was like, you're level 6 in this
Do you
covenant. I was
see
like,
what
what?
that means?
I'm level what in this covenant?
To be alive, to walk this earth.
There's a big reason I suggest
That's the
everyone join
real
this covenant at the
curse
start,
right
though,
there.
which as soon as he and I
We
both finish mom
undead
logging,
will never die.
we'll discuss it.
And that's quite a predicament, really.
Now, I will say this, if you're upset at me with talking over the NPCs, please bear in mind I've already beaten the game, so I already know what they say, so I am paying proper respect to the story. I've already played it. I already have plenty of theory posts on Giant Bomb about the theories and stories and all that crap. I'll talk about that stuff at some point while I'm playing, but not right now. And number 2, as in all my Let's Plays, my goal is not to look cool. It's not to generate clicks. It's not to get people to like me or make money advertising. I don't have a single monetized video on YouTube. My goal is to show off a game that I think is cool and I really love and share my experience with other people who care to watch it. And ultimately, my goal is I don't want you to watch me play the game and go, oh man, so that was a great game. I want you to go out and say, man, he's having fun with this game. It's fun to watch him play it. I want you to go out and buy it yourself. So if you want to know what these NPCs are saying, go buy the damn game and talk to them yourself.
And wherever you go from here, you will sooner or later come up against them.
It's fortunate because today was a appropriate day to start my Dark Souls videos because it's raining and dreary as crap outside.
If that frightens you, then you ought to just...
Even though Majula is nice and sunny, it's always nice and sunny in Majula. And in fact, I make a good point. Since I'm not listening to what he's saying, and I don't really care if you hear what he's saying either, we're just going to go ahead and join the Way of the Blue Covenant. This is just a co-op covenant. Basically, when you get invaded, if you're in the Way of the Blue, these other guys who are a member in a similar covenant that's a little bit different can basically join your game and attack the guy who's invading you. But yeah, you level up in this covenant, I believe, by killing invaders. There's no covenant item, it's just it tracks how many invaders you kill, and as you kill invaders, you level up. I don't even know what you get for leveling in this covenant. I really don't. I doubt it's anything too cool. The big benefit of this covenant and why I recommend you join it straight up is because that blue seal you just saw me loot, it's basically just an HP regen ring.
Give it some time.
There's no real penalty to it. Go ahead and equip it and you'll gain more HP right off the bat. Also, you can learn a cool gesture. Welcome!
May you find peace on your journey.
Let's see what this text has to say about this thing. Weakness, confidence before hurrah for death. Yeah, that's funny, I guess. 200, God, Jesus Christ, 29,082,133 deaths worldwide. I'm glad I played solo on PC, but PS3, because that's how I tracked my deaths. Over here, I don't know what those say. I don't even know what this one says. I've never gotten it to say anything. Beware of gorgeous view. It's a dangerous view out there. Actually, I wonder. No, you can't really tell what that is. And even if it were, it's too far. Yeah, that place would be too far away, especially considering how close that play is. I just love the higher fidelity on the PC version, because I can do that and I can say screw you to all these idiot detractors. Screw you, idiot detractors who say this game has no connectivity. Blow it out your ass. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, a little bit ago I picked up an Estus Flask shard. What are Estus Flask shards good for? Well, let's ask Shantoto. I can't remember. Is that actually her name? No, her name is not Shantoto. I don't know where I'm getting that from. Her name is something else that's really weird.
The curse. Seek misery.
That's nice.
For misery will lead you to greater, stronger souls.
Would you mind if I don't seek misery, instead try to be happy?
Seek those whose names are unutterable.
Oh, shut
Their
up.
soul, once you have found, so that
Here's a really long story short.
Is that
Go
shard
kill
you
a
found?
bunch of badass bosses.
Here.
That was what she just said.
So that I may help you.
So she wants my Estus
To
Flask
see
shard.
light. To see hope.
She's very long-winded. I really prefer the Maiden in Black. She sounded much cuter and more cute Asian voice, and also she was much more to the point. So let's give the Estus Flash Shard. I hate that your mouse cursor keeps showing up in this version of the game. Estus Flash Strengthen. What does that do? I now have 2 Estus Flasks instead of 1. That's what it does. Ooh, here's someone else playing. They've got a bastard sword. They got the Eagle Kite Shield. I'm not sure I'd recommend buying that, but hey, whatever works for you. Let's also find out if I have the stats for this. I do. Wow. I do have the stats for that. I even have the stats for that. I kind of prefer the Morningstar, though, so I'm going to go with that. What are my stats? I'm 15, and it always resets right to the middle, no matter how many times I move it off. So I'm 15 strength and 11 dex. Okay. So these are really good starting stats if you want to be a melee character. They really are.